it's already quite in the series. I'm not throwing out Spender here. It's kind of foolish for me at the same time because I don't know exactly what they can offer, but I'm just so confident here for PV Sage. And now we get to see the hardpoint opens up. It's the hardpoint number 1 we're talking about. And lovely zoning so far here, seeing here for the side of PV Sage. But oh my days, gunfights. Why Spender bringing it back?
Yeah, I love this fact that the fact that Spender just rushed on into this hardpoint and is just holding down the fort from the hardpoint in itself. Justin just using some of those consoles as the perfect defense whilst we wait for a little bit of a backup, and a double-pronged attack coming through from the opponents manages to sneak the kill away. But Spender already soaking up 13 of those points, buys themselves a little bit of time, attacking from the side of P2. Have got the green radar station for the spawn as well, but it's a tad bit too early for that.
No, very scrappy hill here, but at the end of it, looking like it's gonna be a Sage holding things down. They're about to claim the last 15 seconds, but on the contrary, Spender, they want to put themselves into the mix. I love the hustle, to be honest. Hardpoint number 1 is one of those hard points that you can just constantly put yourself right into it. P2 is just right around the corner. In regards to spawn, it's going to be Spender having the proper setup.
Yep, Cairo, Justin, Marco, Corvin, as well as Hera, they started off a tad bit slow, but they have now moved into the driver's seat. They have got the spawn for P2, and they send their players rushing on in. Edge platform is held on by Team Yellow, and they seem to be whooping, but probably whooping the Spenders off of these boys. But there is a fantastic fight coming back through from the Gorilla base. They trickle in one after the other. Corvin with a fantastic Freddy only soaks up one, allowing the rest of his team members to flush out the Team Spender.
This is what was lacking earlier in the previous series on Hardpoint. Definition on the spawns. This time around, it's much more defined here for Perseverance. They took down Green Radar, but as soon as they say that, player 1 from the side of Spender, it's going to be a leak for you, taking things down, and it's actually going to be possibly biting Perseverance Sage in regards to the rotation for P3. So that's going to be another run here for Spender, that they're doing better up against Sage.
Yeah, and it seems like Team Spender has been put together. They didn't even expect to qualify for this competition. Can you just let that sink in for a moment? So the troll in their name, the troll in their logo would have just been this hilarious final second thing where they're like, wait a minute, guys, we qualified for Garena Masters 3. We are going to be playing live in front of SMP. Can you imagine that moment, Warden?
I think I'd do absolutely something goofy like that if I qualified for Garena Masters 5. I think I'd probably do even worse. Not gonna lie.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Going back to the game, Sage holding things down from left, right, back, center. And the break will try to come true from the front lines, but Mako with a KRM takes down 2. Finds a triple on the feet overall for Sage, and this Money Hill is just getting changed from hardpoint number 1 to 2 to 3 AJ.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, everything is being done right here from the opposing team. Spender just really can't seem to catch up at all with the mayhem that they seem to be bringing out there on the battlefield. Fantastic attacks, and PV Sage will continue to push on forth down here to soak up all of the points from P3. Early rotation into P4, but it's a tad bit too early for me on the side of Spender. And as that hard point moves on forth towards P4, you can see the response coming through from PV Sage. Rotating, pulling that flanking maneuver from both sides as they try to sneak this hill away.
You know, I'm all in it for the early rotations, but the question is, can they hold their grounds? It has been such a trend that, you know, they get the early rotations before, but Sage just has no problems at all in terms of getting the break inside a hill. And as we get to see Mako circling, patrolling the back lines, ensuring the spawns will be going over for the side of Sage, and it does happen now. They go for the break, and it happens so quickly now. PV Sage holding things down, the consistency popping the rooftops. Mako on a 4 spree.
Absolutely, somebody put a stop to Mako. 4 on the spree already, and he's aiming for more. The players on his side are just not allowing him to continuously streak up, as they are having a fantastic time ripping Spender apart. Soon this Spender is going to be filled with holes. 153 to 35. We're just halfway through this matchup now. Spender has a lot of time to make a comeback, but the problem is, can they hang with the gunfights?
They have the intentions, but they just can't execute. It doesn't matter what kind of plan are you going to be putting up if you can't back it up with gunfights. And we've seen them being able to zone out, like the rotation here for P4. They had an anchor on back red. They had an anchor from the back lines, but quickly what we got to see on Justin. He was just able to mow them down easily at all, and it just goes to show that gunfight really matters at this competition.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. 179 to 36. Spender barely able to do anything against PV Sage. Like we said, this one is a little bit of a mismatch. You've got a team that was put together just to play for fun, who accidentally qualified for stage 3, and then you've got them going up against a total pro team who have been aiming, dreaming, fantasizing about what they will do with the prize money once they win stage 3. That's the difference between the two.
You know, coming from that CDSI run, we got to see the Western Mamba Lokings run things down on Summit with ease. They were able to do the unimaginable, having Oleas playing in. And, you know, coming from Ashenda, moving over to Summit. Summit is Olea's pick here. And under the influence of Olea, Sage, they're really outclassing Spender as of the moment.
195 to 50, and it looks like there's just nothing that can save the Spender from being torn apart anymore. They have to pick up 150 points back to back, but it doesn't seem like they can even break the hill for a fine few seconds unless they rush in together as 5 men. Marco moves on in. Pino with a double. Justin backs it up by switching out a double for himself. Justin walks straight in towards the war machine, but Pino runs out of ammunition, and Cairo pulls the hill right back for Team PV Sage. Spender, what else do you have to deliver?
Ooh, early rotations, they've done that. They gotta back it up with gunfights once more. It's all gonna boil down to that. And if ever they do, and if ever they can hold their grounds coming in for the next like 3 hard points, maybe till then we might just be able to see the grounds get equalized. But it's just so far from that. And this time around, the Sage, they get the early rotations to P3, they get the scrap time onto P2. Every factor is just clicking here for Sage.
Yeah, 237 already, and you know, it was an expected result. Of course, we didn't want to call it a little bit too early. We wanted to see what Spender has in store for us, but they really have got no standing whatsoever against PV Sage. Once again, a Filipino squad coached by one of the best Filipino coaches out there. PV Sage easily overwhelmed Spender, which was just a random team put together to play for fun, who ended up qualifying.